Imagine a time when gas was cheap, highways stretched endlessly, and the roar of a V8 engine defined freedom. Back in the day, America didn't just drive cars. They created icons on wheels, monsters of power and style that ruled the streets and the hearts of millions. And yet, here we are today, in our compact crossovers and electric sedans, sipping on oat milk lattes, forgetting the beasts that once roared down Route 66. So let's take a trip back to when America lived life a quarter mile at a time and dive into the legends that redefined what it meant to own the road. First up, the car that started it all, the Ford Mustang. Introduced in 1964, the Mustang wasn't just a car, it was a statement. Affordable, stylish, and packing enough punch to embarrass the neighbor sedan at every stoplight. It became the everyman's sports car. The first Mustang wasn't built for Wall Street executives. It was for the kid fresh out of college who wanted to impress on date night without mortgaging his future. Ford sold over 400,000 Mustangs in its first year, and if you're wondering why, just imagine pulling up to a drive-in with a sleek, fastback Mustang while everyone else was still driving boxy station wagons. The Mustang wasn't just a car. It was a cultural shift. But it wasn't long before competitors realized Ford was onto something. Enter the Chevrolet Camaro in 1966. If the Mustang was the cocky high school quarterback, the Camaro was the brooding bad boy who just rolled into town on a motorcycle. Designed to be Ford's worst nightmare, the Camaro brought sharper handling, meaner looks, and engines that could shake the windows off your house. The Z28 trim? That wasn't just a car. It was an open challenge to anyone who thought they could outdrive it. Chevy wasn't just building cars, they were waging war. And just when you thought things couldn't get wilder, Dodge kicked down the door with the Challenger in 1970. If the Mustang and Camaro were about speed and agility, the Challenger was about raw, unapologetic power. It was the muscle car equivalent of walking into a bar and flipping over a table just to start a fight. Dodge didn't care about finesse. They cared about horsepower, and the Challenger delivered in spades. The HAMI engine became a legend in its own right, a badge of honor for anyone crazy enough to harness its fury. It wasn't about winning races, it was about leaving scorch marks on every street you drove down. The 60s and the 70s were a golden age for muscle cars, and their cultural impact went far beyond the garages they were parked in. These weren't just machines, they were symbols of rebellion, freedom, and the pursuit of adrenaline. Every Mustang, Camaro, and Challenger owner wasn't just driving a car, they were living a lifestyle. Muscle cars became stars of the silver screen, with classics like Bullitt and Vanishing Point immortalizing them as Hollywood icons. These cars weren't just cool, they were a part of the American identity. But let's be honest for a second, those days weren't without their flaws. Sure, your dad's Challenger could outrun anything, but it also guzzled gas faster than a college student downs pizza. And safety? Forget about it. Seatbelts were optional, and airbags were as real as unicorns. Yet that recklessness was part of the charm. People didn't buy muscle cars to be practical. They bought them to feel alive. Now, if you're thinking, yeah, but modern cars are better in every way, you're not wrong. Today's cars are safer, more efficient, and packed with tech. But can your hybrid SUV make your neighbor's dog bark just by revving the engine? Can it make you feel like the king of the road every time you merge onto the freeway? That's the magic muscle cars brought to the table, and it's why their legacy endures. Before we continue, here's a quick question for you. If you could take one muscle car, any muscle car from history, for a spin, which one would it be? Drop your pick in the comments because I'm genuinely curious to see which car gets the most love. And if you're enjoying this ride down memory lane, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos that celebrate the cars that move us. As we fast forward to the present, muscle cars aren't just relics of the past. The Mustang, Camaro, and Challenger are still alive and kicking, carrying the torch for a new generation of enthusiasts. Ford's latest Mustangs combine classic styling with cutting-edge tech, proving that you can teach an old pony new tricks. The Camaro, while bowing out soon, has spent the last decade as a precision tool on wheels, earning respect on track days and highways alike. And the Challenger? Well, Dodge doubled down on its more is more philosophy with the Hellcat, a car so powerful it's practically a war crime. But the spirit remains the same. They're not about practicality, they're about passion. They're not just cars, they're dream machines that remind us why we fell in love with driving in the first place. And let's not forget their role in keeping the automotive world interesting. In a sea of beige sedans and anonymous crossovers, muscle cars stand out like a rock concert in a library. Of course, the future is uncertain. With electric cars taking over and emissions regulations tightening, the days of big V8 engines might be numbered. But even if muscle cars go electric, their essence won't fade. Power, style, and attitude will always have a place in the automotive world, no matter what's under the hood. So as we wrap this up, let's pour one out for the cars that made America fall in love with the open road. The Mustangs, Camaros, and Challengers of the world aren't just vehicles, they're legends. They're the reason car enthusiasts still wake up early on Sundays for a drive. They're why you turn your head every time you hear a rumbling exhaust in the distance. And they're proof that cars can be more than just machines. They can be a part of who we are. If you've made it this far, you're definitely one of the real ones. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and join the crew. Let's keep celebrating the cars that shaped our world, one video at a time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep the pedal to the metal and never stop chasing that adrenaline.